Hello everybody, welcome back to the Buffness. These right here are 3 Balisongs that I am giving away right now. Go ahead and check out the last video on my channel, the giveaway video for how to win one of these 3 Nabalu's Balisongs. We got the Teflon Volt, the Wing, and the Volt Pro right here. And Nabalu's sent all of these out to help me celebrate hitting 5,000 subscribers on this channel. So once again, if you want to win one of these, go check out that video and enter to win. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about titanium EPS Wraiths. These are some knives that are super cool for a lot of reasons, and a lot of people are wanting these. I posted this morning my mod work on this guy right here, on this titanium Wraith. And I had 3 people ask, can I buy it? And this is not mine. This belongs to Eric Galvin. Huge thank you to Eric for sending me not just this, but a couple other Ballies to hold on to record a couple of videos on. This one was the only one I was modding. The other ones are just here for me to make videos on. So huge thank you to Eric for that. This thing turned out so pretty. But 3 people said they wanted to buy this, and that's because the titanium Wraith, there are not very many of them. I think there's 50 or something like that out in the wild, which is crazy that there's only 50. I could be wrong about the number 50, by the way. It's just they dropped, what was it, 25 at Blade Show East, and then they did one other drop that were unserialized, and I assume that would be roughly 25 of them. There could be more, but nevertheless, there are not a lot of them. And there have only been those drops, so they're rare. And they're really good. That's one issue there. They are so good, and they're in such high demand that everyone wants them, and nobody can get them. It is the same case with the G10 Wraith by EPS. I've wanted one of those for about a year, and I have not gotten one. And there have not been drops in a really long time. But anyways, despite these things being not too readily available, they kind of hit every other point that makes it a really good Bally. By the way, you've probably noticed my flipping is kind of trash right now. And that's because I just got home from like a week-long road trip where I didn't flip at all. And I've just been grinding for the last day to get my skill back. And I am getting there, but still not great. So, the main reason I wanted to make this video is I can't just waste an opportunity of having 2 titanium Wraiths. The pre-production version and the first production version, or just the production version, I guess, with both different blade shapes and not make a video. So I'm going to go over all of the differences between these guys and just talk about why I like each one of them and which one is my favorite. Keep in mind, this is not a full review. I'll make a review on these at some point in the future, or on this one, but it's going to be a while. My review schedule is jam-packed. Working on the Serious V4 review right now. Scripting it, beating this guy for a reason you will see, and recording a little bit of B-roll. So, okay. Looking at the first big difference between these guys, it's obviously the blade. So these blades are different for a couple reasons. So looking at it from this view, you got the logo. It is pretty close to the same, but it's a different font. This one is like a bigger, bolder font, and it looks like italicized maybe. So that's kind of interesting. It's obviously a Weehawk blade on the Weehawk version and a Bowie blade on the Bowie version. So that's pretty obvious. This one is serialized right here. Pre-production Blade Show 2024, number 14 out of 25. This one is completely unserialized because this is the production run. Flipping it over, a big difference right here. 2 different blade steels. 154 cm on the pre-production Bowie, and a D2 blade on the Weehawk. I believe D2 is the Kraken blade. I could be wrong about that. But it's a pretty solid blade steel that a lot of Bally's use. Neither of these, however, are the Grail level blade steel of S35BN, which is kind of interesting. So those are the only differences I really see in the blade, besides this tang area. Tang is a little different, as you can see there, a lot wider on the Weehawk. And that may have something to do with the pins. The pins are a little bit different on these guys. We got screw-in tunable Zen pins on the Bowie, first prod, Thai, Wraith, wow, I can't speak. And on here, the much better pin method of hidden Zen pins. With a sandwich construction such as this, you can just mill out little holes that don't go all the way through the titanium and shove some pins in there. And that makes it look, makes it look like there are no pins. So that is really cool. And that is by far, I think, my favorite pin method. And this is my second least favorite pin method. I hate tang pins, but tunable Zen pins are a close second worst. Now, that's obviously another big difference between these two production models. And when you look at the handles in every other way, you don't really see any other changes. The spacers look to be exactly the same. Same with the spacer mounting system. So those are really the only differences. Not a lot. The blade steel is probably the biggest. And the Zen pins as well are a pretty big difference. Everything else with the logos and stuff like that aren't too different. One last thing that I am noticing here, just saw this, is the spine. So, of course, they're 2 different blade shapes. They're going to be different. But this one is a lot more round, which is pretty cool. I prefer that to this one being a lot more flat. It is chamfered, but that chaplain feels a lot better on the Bowie. Not a huge difference, but it is there. And these holes are a little teeny tiny bit bigger on here, leading me to think that these pins, they are. These pins are actually a little smaller. Interesting. Finding new stuff about these every day. Okay, let's put away the Weehawk and just flip the Bowie. I have flipped both of these side by side extensively, and I've come to the conclusion that the balance difference is so minor that whoops. The difference in the balance is so minor that I can't really come to a conclusion on the balance, on the balance difference. This is the balance point on the Bowie, pretty much the same on the Weehawk. It feels good. I'm still not great at telling, oh gosh, a poor thing. I am still not great on telling the balances on Bally's yet, which is kind of funny because I've been flipping for so long, and you'd think I would. All I know is that it fans good, it's got some handle weight, but to me, it feels kind of on the neutral side. Like, it doesn't feel like a strong handle bias, definitely doesn't have blade bias, so I'd say it's kind of in the middle, if not like a slight handle bias, kind of like a Kraken. But yeah, the materials on the titanium Wraith are pretty solid, like different blade steels, so I'm not gonna say those, but we have the grade 5 titanium handles, 6AL 4V, which is very standard for a titanium Bally. I believe yeah, the spacers as well are titanium grade 5. So the exact same materials on the handles and the spacers. So that's good. We got T10 pivot screws and T8 or 9 screws down here. Same for the Zen pins on the pre-prod. So yeah. And as for how this thing flips, I love it. I will pick this thing up if I want to flip something a little bit unique, but it's still really good. This thing has a lot of personality. You pick it up and you're like, oh, it shows you some new stuff every time you flip it. And I really like that. Man, I am so bad at flipping right now. Holy cow. All in all, it's comfy. The tunes are good. Give you a sound test. This is dry. And it could use a little bit of tightening, but no tap. Little tiny bit of wiggle. And the play is very, very minimal. So I like that. But anyways, that's the Titanium Wraith by EPS. A lot of people have been wanting to hear more stuff about this guy. Will Hirsch has a review on it. That's really cool. And here's kind of my thoughts on it. I'll have a review out sometime within the next year. I don't know. That's my hope. But it's not insanely high on my review list, but it is on there. Thank you all so much for watching. The Titanium Wraith is really cool. The G10 Wraith is really cool, and I hope to own one of those one day. But that's going to do it for this video. Peace.